Hi, everyone. It's Mira Raven here, and we are back again this month for another um, Magifest interviews. And I am so excited for our guest today. And we met in such an interesting way, too. It was one of those things where I am honestly so interested in how fate works because I will meet people every single day, just the most interesting people from different walks of life, different races, different backgrounds, all of that. And so I just always feel like I don't know, I'm a magnet for interesting people. So I'm excited to have Deon on the show tonight. So Deon Davis, the thing that really got me about Deon is that he's pretty young. He recent graduate, and most of the people I've had on the show have been my age or older. But I wanted to show Deon because I feel like he is an example of somebody who really is determined and working hard. He has grit, he has determination, and based off of the things that I've learned about him so far, he just really strikes me as a gem of a person. He's got some really amazing stuff that he's done. Um, and I really look forward to having him on the show today. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go through my my intro here. But before I do, just want to let everyone know that if you do, when you do come into the stream, if you're watching, just say hello. Just put something in the messages if you're watching, even if it's after the fact and you're watching this, after it's been recorded already. It's always nice to hear what other people have to say. And it's always nice to have that community. So if you're watching, then, take a second and definitely, definitely send me something in the comments. All right. So let's get started here. We're going to bring on Deon in just a minute. Here we go. Welcome to Magifest Interviews, everyone. All right, here we are. We are going to bring on the one, the only Mr. Deon Davis. Deon Davis. How's it going, my friend?
It's going good. How's it going, my friend? I consider you a friend.
Oh,
We
yeah.
talk about
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, we are newly acquainted, but
Yeah.
I do feel like we've had some very good conversations, and I'm impressed by your maturity, by your spiritual maturity. So, Deon Davis. So for people who don't know you yet, because and I'm telling you, Deon, I'm sure you're going to be somebody who you're definitely going to be somebody who is going to be, I'm sure, doing all kinds of amazing things. And people are going to be like, oh, yeah, yeah, Deon Davis, back when he was, I knew him. You'd be like, I knew him back when he was, just a little scrap, just trying to get everything done. I'm very impressed with you. So, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, what your experience was like. You were born and raised here in Chicago.
yeah. I'm 24 years old. I'm an African American male. I've been on the West Side my whole life. It has not been easy for me in my life. When I was in grammar school, I got bullied and stuff. So I deal with a lot of trauma and depression. But Uh, I was in the darkness. I was like 17, 18, and I felt God and everything. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
change my life around. So I was the first one to graduate college and get my bachelor's degree, and I was the youngest to get my associate's and bachelor's degree out of my family. I'm a first generation student, and I just like to have fun, talk to people, and I'm a chill, laid back person. I didn't hang out till I was like 16 years old because I couldn't hang out, and I didn't like talking to people really at all. I was a shy kid, But now I talk more a lot, but I talk a lot now. Talk too much sometimes, but you know. But
Okay,
I'm here
so
today.
you've got, so what I'm hearing is, you know, you've been through the mill. You've been through some experiences. You've had some experiences in your life that some of them traumatic, some of them intense, but you've had life experiences that you have survived through. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Is
living
that
on the west
correct?
side is not easy at all because it's drugs,
Mhm.
people standing around. But
Mhm.
I made it out. I made it out the hood, as they say. Because I didn't let that stop me, even though stereotypes and statistics show if you are from the west side, the chances of you making it is not likely. You can, but it's all about determination and working hard. I didn't want to be another statistic and be like everybody else to be in jail or dead. So I wanted to live a better life. So that's why I went to school and everything. And I
Yes.
owe that to my high school principal. He always talked about going to college and everything. Because I was at a West Side school where I didn't really learn anything. No offense to dominate black high schools, but I went to this mixed school called Steinmetz College Prep. That's what changed my life forever. That was probably one of the biggest, greatest move of my life going to that high school because it changed my perception on college and everything. And I met my homie there as well that I've been knowing for 8 years, and we hung out a couple days ago.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, it's so, and isn't that interesting? So, I kind of want to dig into a couple things here. So, when you were growing up and when you say, was there something, how old were you when you realized that you didn't want to be like the other kids, that you wanted to excel? What was it
Well,
that,
I
was there
learned.
anything that happened that kind of made you feel that way, or drove you there to that decision that, look,
Well,
I don't want to be like those people.
Well,
What made
I,
you
I
do
got,
that?
I have seen people in the streets and everything on the blocks that I grew up on. They have died because they're selling drugs or living a horrible life and everything. And they was in jail. The police was always messing with them and everything. And I didn't want to live their life at all. I wanted to make sure that I was doing my job. As being the son. As being a son of my mother and daddy and everything, I didn't want to let them down at all. And I always had high expectations on me since I've been born and everything. People expect a lot out of me. I don't. I was supposed to be doing great things and everything. So I always had got high expectations on me set upon me since I was born. So I've seen a lot of things growing up and everything outside and everything. And I don't want to just be another person because a lot of people these days they smoke. All they think about is pleasure and everything, and they not going anywhere because they got small goals. They don't got the bigger picture in mind. And that's what I got, a bigger picture in mind.
Right. You have to kind of have, so what I'm hearing is you really have to sort of have, you kind of have to have a plan, a trajectory, a road, a path, some kind of, okay, I'm going somewhere, a destination. In other words, you want to be going to something, right? Or at least going somewhere. But if you're just standing there in a circle, twirling in a circle, and I know what you're talking about because we kind of had a discussion about this before we started, about how sometimes we feel like people are, it's like a black hole, and a black hole is something that, I mean, not literally a black hole because that's a very specific phenomenon in space, but figuratively, right? Like, it's like when you get sucked into emotion and it becomes this whirlwind, right? Sometimes if it's not even your emotion, it becomes a whirlwind, and you get so caught up in it that it's hard to get out, right? And so And when people are in a certain mindset, right, we get in groupthink, and it can be hard to sort it out. And we had oh gosh, I don't want to butcher this person's name. Hopefully I don't. Mateos. Hopefully I'm not saying your name wrong, dear. But he asked a question, and I will get to you. I just want to let you know, Mateus, thank you for your question. I'm going to be showing your question in just a second here. We're definitely going to talk about that in a moment, so I will not forget that, and I will definitely we're going to address that. That's a great. He has a great question. I just want to talk a little bit more about Deon, your experiences and what you've learned through your experiences, and what sort of, you said you spent a lot of time, you had a certain period of time that you didn't really like talking to people, and you didn't want to really be connected to people. Do you think that that was probably because you were, if the people around you, at the time, were they negative? And was it something where it's like, I don't want to be around that, and so you separated yourself from them?
I would
What
say
was
it's a
the
little bit.
behind that?
I would say it's a little bit of everything. As growing up and everything, I got teased and bullied, and people just call me out my name, call me ugly,
Oh,
stupid. Teasing me in school, like grammar school, high school, and everything. Calling me a lame loser. Nobody likes you. My family was for the most part supportive, other than one of my siblings. Two of them. But it was like the outside noise and everything. I didn't want to deal with that negativity and judgment and blowback. So I just was quiet. I didn't say much at all. Till I went to high school and met my homie and everything. That's when I started talking more, and that's when I started hanging out.
well, the interesting thing about that, Dion, is that some people might say, "Oh, that's antisocial behavior because you were not spending time with people," right? But when I listen to you say that, what I'm hearing somebody. It's actually very spiritual, because it's sometimes you have to be, and I've experienced this myself. Sometimes you have to be alone. Sometimes it's good to be alone. We're taught that we have to constantly be around people, and we need to depend on people, and we should depend on people in a healthy way, right? We have to work together. But I think that there's times that it's good to just be with your own energy and just you, right? And deal with just what you have to deal with, and not deal with what all the other stuff that you can't control, right? Which is everyone else's stuff. You can't control that, right? So what I'm seeing, what it was a defense mechanism. Like, okay, I'm gonna like get in my shell because I don't feel safe around these people. I don't want to be connecting with that. And and so I think that that was, in a way, actually a very healthy response, in a way. And the fact that you waited until you could then reintegrate with people, in a healthy way. I think that's a good idea. I think sometimes we need that. We all need that. Like, I think we all should be doing that. Like, we all need to be taking time to meditate and be quiet within ourselves, and just be in our energy, and then come out and then say something, or then connect with people, and really be like, okay, because when you take that time to be alone with yourself, you can come back, right? And then you're back as you, not as all this other stuff. Like, if you're taking all this time, let's say you're partying every night and you're going out with people every night, you are going to become like the people that you party with. You're not really going to become more like you. You're going to become more like them, right? So when you're by yourself, you're going to become more like yourself, because you're only near yourself. You know what I mean? So when you have that time to be in solitude with yourself, it's not always a bad thing. You know, it can serve you. It just depends on how you use that time. And so when you went through this period of time, I ask you one more question, sorry, about this time. So when you were during this time that you were withdrawing and inward, what did you do during that time? What were you doing, because you weren't talking to people? So what was your main outlet? What was your resource? Did you, read? Did you write? Did you study? Did you what did you do, sort of, when you were in that phase? What kept you going during that time?
Well, I was actually depressed because I wasn't talking to people and stuff. Because I didn't like talking to people because of negative blowback. So I was always quiet and everything. I just
Mhm.
kept to myself, and I didn't say much at all. I was just pretty much in my own world, you know.
So you
I was
kind of just
closed.
you
I was
just kind of
closed off.
dissociated. Is that what you just kind of disconnected from?
Yeah. I was closed my off from it. You know, I really didn't want to talk to nobody
Oh,
besides my
wow.
parents. You know.
Wow. And I mean, I guess I'm not necessarily, I want to make it clear. I'm not necessarily saying that talking to nobody is healthy, but I think that sometimes there are times where you have to take a step back at least and say, okay, I need to see this clearly to see who I can trust and what I can trust, right? And then move forward, right? I think it's good to protect your heart, right? It's advice that somebody gave me once. You got to protect your heart. So, but then what happened? Then, so what was a turning point for you, Deon, where you started going in a different direction? What was the thing that you think helped you the most in terms of beginning to see yourself and the world in a more positive way? What was the spark for you?
Well, me and my homie, the crazy story about when I met my homie in high school is we was joking around about this teacher making fun of her and everything, you know. And that's how we started becoming cool, you know. Like he didn't start hanging out till he was 16 too, like me, you know. So yeah, yeah, we started talking over a joke. You know, it's crazy how you meet people and stuff, you know,
Mm-hmm.
joking around and stuff, you know. It's crazy how you be meet people and everything, you know. You could meet me at the craziest place, like we met on the train track and everything, you know, going on the
Yeah, that's
Green Line
right.
train.
I was right. I was on my way from Oak Park back to
Yeah.
Rogers Park, and I remember you started wave. You waved at me, and I'm thinking. I remember thinking, do I know this person? Why are they waving at me like they know me? And I'm thinking, well, I better talk to them to make sure. I don't. I guess am I missing something? I'm thinking, do I know you or something? But you just seemed like totally like, oh yeah, like we're already friends. We were already friends. Hello, it's nice to see you. Like you just knew that I was supposed to be there or something. It just really was very interesting to me. You know that you approached it like that. And I had actually somebody I met the other day who did that was similar. I was walking in the neighborhood and they just waved, right? And they're like, they waved at me, and I'm thinking, do I know you? And I go across, and I'm thinking, do I know you? And they're like, no, we're just saying hello, and we started talking. So when you're open minded, really amazing things can happen. So I want to ask something. So Mateus, hopefully he's still here. He had a question. We're gonna get to that question in a minute. Where I wanted to kind of get into. Okay, so after you met this person, just that connection. Do you think it gave you hope that you had made a friend and you can connect with somebody and you don't feel totally alone? Like, do you think that was helpful for you? The fact that you met another person and their energy kind of raised your energy up. Would you say it was something like that or?
Yeah, it really helped me because we've been hanging out ever since, you know. We've been knowing each other 8 years and we talked over the phone earlier, you know. And he like a brother to me, even though he's white and everything, you know, I consider him like a family member, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so then you also ended up so this was after, let's see. So when did you graduate? I
Uh,
never got the
I
date of
graduated.
your
I graduated in 2015. So
Really?
yeah, at
Wow.
high school.
I did not know it was I didn't know that was 2000. Wow, 2015. Oh, high school. I'm talking about
Yeah.
college.
Well, I
Okay.
graduated college in 2018 and 2020, 2020.
2020. Okay, cuz I was going to say 2015. I thought you were talking about college. I was going to say
No,
2000.
I was talking about high school. That's when we met when I
Oh,
was
that
16
makes
years
more
old.
sense. That makes more sense because I graduated to college in 2016. So I was thinking,
Yeah,
man, if you graduated in 2015, you graduated before me, which would make sense.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, okay. So, but I love the fact that you obviously are very, very smart. You're very bright. You graduated with honors. Was this both in college and in high school? It doesn't matter, but I'm just curious. Was it great?
No. Well, when I was in high school, my GPA when I left there, I had only a 2.0 GPA. So it was when I
Whoa. Oh, so when you went to college then.
yeah, well, yeah, I went the 2 year route first because my GPA wasn't that good. And when I got the right college, that's when my GPA went up to 3.1. And I was getting A's 90% of the time. I was getting
Oh.
A's and B's.
Wow. But you said the other place that you were at that you weren't doing so well, was that the same school that you didn't have a good education?
The
Was that
the, the university.
I don't know, you had said earlier there was a school that you didn't get a very good education at.
Oh yeah, that was high school days.
Okay, but you're
Yeah,
saying when in
yeah,
college
that's
you
why I
went to
transferred. Like I had
Oh.
transferred to Steinmetz, and that's where I met my homie and everything. And I started getting motivated for college because if I didn't go there to that high school, I probably would have never went to college. Probably I would have just had a job and forgone college if I didn't go to that high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the importance of education. So I want to get into okay, so Mateus' question. I want to get into this. I'm going to show his question. So Mateus asked, "Does depression make a person lose attraction, interest for you?" So I would like to hear what you have to say about that, Deon, because something and I also would like to know kind of what you like. Do you like to talk about, because you have your show, right? You started doing your positivity is a way to go.
Yeah, I started doing it in January.
Yes, and so you've been doing it. You've had what, 7 episodes?
Yeah, I got like 20 plus, but I haven't got a lot of them added.
Oh, so you have a bunch just waiting, just to put out there, huh?
Yeah, that's waiting to get added and everything. I haven't released it because I want to get it added. I want them to be top notch. I just don't want to put out material that ain't good quality.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So, so what do you think about this question that Mateus asked? Does depression make a person lose attraction, interest for you? So, what are your
Uh,
thoughts?
I would say when you're in a depressive state of mind, people don't want to really deal with you. It all depends on who the person is. Say like I'm trying to find, I'm talking to a girl and everything, and the girl like me and everything, but I'm depressed. I'm not gonna really notice her like that because I'm just down and out, and I'm gonna miss the signs of somebody liking me. Like sometimes depression, you need to get mental up and everything, but you can lose attraction with somebody if you're depressed and everything, because you don't see them as a person. All you see is those demons inside of you. So
Right.
you're gonna overcompensate, and you ain't gonna see things like you supposed to be seeing them. So say like I'm trying to talk to a woman and everything, but I'm depressed, and she likes me and everything. I'm gonna miss all the signs because I'm depressed and I'm in my own world in my own state of mind. So I'm gonna miss those signs, and I'm gonna let a good woman leave because the state that I am.
Right. I think that's a really good point. And I think that too many times, even if we're not depressed, but even if we could even just you could just be grumpy, right? You could even just be, not in a good mood. And I mean, and okay, so that's your take on it. I'm gonna try a shot at answering this question myself too. So, I think from my perspective, I agree with what you're saying, Dion. I feel like it really depends on the person. And then I also feel like it I don't know if because the thing is depression shouldn't make somebody it's not attract for some people it's probably not attractive. Let's just say it's not attractive, right? But does it mean that somebody has to lose their attraction for you overall and say, I don't even, you have an emotion, therefore I don't even want to be around you? Now, are there people that do that? Yes, there are. There are people that don't, but you know what I always say about those people is that if somebody can't deal with your emotion, that's their thing. Like I have this song that's like, if you can't handle me, that's on you, right? If you can't handle me, that's on you. If you can't handle my emotion, you can't handle your own emotion. So if somebody, I mean, so the question is, would somebody lose attraction for you? They might. But then do you want to be somebody, do you want to be with somebody who's not able to like you no matter what you're feeling? Because your feeling is not who you are. Your depression is not who you are. So, so I think that, at the end of the day, the question,
Hey, Mom.
the question is less about, you
Mom,
know, is the
I ain't been to
depression
14 hours a day. And
it's
I ain't telling
less about, is the depression affecting, how that person sees you. It's more about, is the depression uh something that that person can tolerate or understand, right? If they can't understand that you might have, you're going through something and they can't support you, then that is, that's going to be hard. That's going to be an issue, right? So I think that, um in my experience too, I have definitely I've definitely had a lot of experiences with people where, just because I have, I might be upset about something, or I might feel a certain way, or I might get, you know, anxious or something like that, which is totally normal. But some people are very sensitive, and even if you just, if there's something very little that, you say or do, or maybe they feel that you're upset, so then they start to, um, make an assumption about what that emotion is about, or what, some people, with depression, it tends to be, oh, you're doing it for attention, or you're doing it because, you're lazy or whatever. People will come up with those things. But I would say, if you have depression, right, if somebody has depression, I think that it's good to focus on yourself and healing yourself first, because that's always going to affect, um how you are in a relationship. And if you're depressed, like you said, if you're depressed all the time, then that's going to be hard for you to really have a healthy relationship, because the other person is a reflection of you. So if you don't love yourself, that is going to come into the relationship at some point. It's going to blossom right into the relationship, and that's where people get fights, right? People be in relationships. I'm sure you've had this experience. People are in relationships, everything's great, everything's perfect, and then they have a fight, and then that's it, they break up. Or they have a fight, and then it's just, they disconnect, and give up. So I think that that's kind of my take on it. But I want to talk about Deon's show now. I want to talk about positivity is the way to go, because I think this show is really going to be really awesome. Um, and it's been awesome so far. So far, what you've been doing, I think it's just going to grow like exponentially. And I've noticed you've had a lot of people on the show, um, recently. And so a lot of really, and you have all these episodes, right, that you still got to put on. So, yeah. So Deon, tell me a little bit more about positivity is the way to go, and what made you come up with that title, and why did you want to do the show? What made you want to start it?
well, the first episode I did with Natalia Turner, she's the one that told me that I'd be good if I do a YouTube channel and everything, because she said I was a good communicator. Because we did a internship program together at Upkey, and I was enthusiastic, talking a lot, engaged, and enthusiastic. And she the one brought up the idea, and she was my first episode, and about positivity is the way to go. I thought of the name is because positivity is the only way to go. You got to keep a positive mindset no matter what goes on in life, because it's going to be a lot of crap that happens in life. It's going to be a lot of things that happen that's out of your control. It's going to be a lot of bad things that happen, but you want to keep a positive mindset, because negativity ain't going to get you anywhere. Having a negative mindset, you're going to get negative results.
I love that. I think that is, now let me ask you this. what about the relationship between, because this is the thing, my only challenge with the positivity movement, right, is that sometimes when you're only focusing on the positive and you don't deal with the negative, right, and you don't deal when the negative comes, you just say no, 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 positive, positive, positive. I'm not gonna say anything. No, I'm not allowed to be. What some people do with that is they misinterpret it, I think, and they go, oh, if it's not positive, it's bad, right? If it's not positive, it's bad. Now, what I want to kind of say to put out there is I think that sometimes we have negative, and I've told you this before, I think sometimes we have negative experiences that create positive effects because they kind of turn into positive things can turn negative. Negative things can turn positive. And so I honestly think this is just something I'm putting out there, right? So what do you think about the theory that maybe do we need to focus on whether it's positive or negative, or are we focusing on maybe the the transformation, right? Of whatever it is, if it's a negative, whatever it is, you get positive, you can create positive. You can get negative, you could create positive still. So, I think that there's a balance too in terms of if everything was just perfect, right? If everyone was so positive all the time and there was no negative and nothing, would we, what would that how would that affect society? How do you think that would affect
Well,
society?
I think positive and negativity it's a balance, like you said, but it all depends on like the situation and everything, or what's going on. Like if the situation is bad, then you're gonna be negative about the situation. If the situation positive, you're gonna be positive or negative. It all depends on the person and what they prefer to be at the time of what that was going on in the situations and events in life.
Do you think you can change something from a negative to a positive? Let's say you have a negative situation. Do you think you're able to turn it around and make it positive?
If you could keep your the glass half full, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, what other things do you think people might need? Are there any kind of tools that
Or
you
well,
think
you
people
gotta
might need?
you negative situations you gotta take the positives out of, and positive situations people are gonna take negative situations out of it because maybe it's too good to be true, or when something is bad, when something is good, they like it's too good to be true, or when something negative, they like it's too bad to be like this. So it's two sides of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. So with this show, you've had a lot of different guests on there, and it seems like you've had some guests that have been kind of popular. Like they have some followers, or they have some talents, and I was so lucky to be on a guest on one of your episodes, and that was a lot of fun. Um, can you tell me about some of the other guests that you've had on your show, and some of your favorite guests you've had so far?
Well, I had this lady. She was on The Bachelor. Her name was Michael Cooper. She appeared on one of the Bachelor episodes on Channel 7. She was like one of the women. I interviewed DC Glenn from Tag Team. Whoop, there it is. He was in a Boom Shot Lock commercial, the Geico commercial with the
Oh
ice cream and
yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, I
actually
had
have.
interviewed DC Glenn.
Uh huh.
I interviewed Rummy Lobby. He a sports talk host, and also I interviewed Sydney Myers. She's a Dallas Mavericks podcaster,
Oh wait,
and
what? Say that again. She's a
I
Dallas
interviewed
what? A Dallas based podcaster. Is that what you said? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Hello. Oh, you're muted. Okay, hold on a second. I think I actually have and I actually was gonna say too, Dion, I have the the episode. So I'm gonna actually show that right now. I'm gonna share that with you guys because I want to show you. I saw a little bit of it. We're not gonna show his whole episode. We're just gonna show just the beginning of it. So let's do that real quick. So this is part of it. from the beginning. This is with Severin Henderson. Okay, that was awesome. That was so cool. So how did you find this guy?
Well, I felt him on Guestio. Actually, it's a backstory. He from Chicago. He's a firefighter.
Oh, very cool. So
Yeah, we
Guestio,
had talked
okay.
about. Yeah, he worked. He lived downtown and everything. He had said that he wanted me to come down there one day and we might go get buy me something to eat because obviously he got money and I don't like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. So you've had some pretty interesting guests on your show. And
Yeah,
so
he was the first one. He was the first he was the second guest from Chicago. You and him.
oh wow. Okay, well awesome. I feel good to be holding down Chicago, the Chicago fort. So Dion, tell me what is next for you? What are some of your goals with your show? What are you hoping to do with your show within the next, maybe a couple of years? Do you plan to continue doing the show for a long period of time? Do you only plan to do it for a certain period of time? What are some of your long-term goals? In terms of the show, and then what are some of your long-term goals in general, like not necessarily with the show but just in general?
Well, I want to get my shows edited that I've been the shows that I haven't put up yet. I want to get those edited, and I want to get my show to. I want to get more subscribers, and I want people to watch it for more hours and everything. And I want to get like better quality. and I want to have more better guests over time on and everything, and I want to promote it well, and I want to get me a job. I've been looking for a job since November. I want to get me a good paying job, maybe $40, $50 an hour over time,
Mhm.
and I want to be making a lot of money and maybe be in movies, have my own TV show, maybe on Channel 9 one day, or Channel 7, and be in
See,
acting and be in movies, or maybe
mhm.
I could be a beatboxer. Who knows?
Oh,
It, I,
beatboxer. That almost made me just don't I won't forget. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah,
Finish.
yeah. I
Yes.
got, I got a lot of talent and everything, but I want to
Mhm.
work at like a marketing company because I had got my bachelor's degree in marketing, so I'm a good communicator. I'm good with people. So it all depends, on what direction, but I can do it all. I want to work and do movies and do my YouTube channel. I want to do it all. I don't want to
Yes.
hold myself to like one thing.
Yeah, it can be, being that age. I remember when I was that age. It was only 4 years ago, but still it feels like forever. But I remember when I know that, and I still feel that feeling now, even at 28. Like always wanting to, telling myself, okay, slow down. You have your whole life to do certain things. So one thing that I know I've learned and had to learn is to pace myself. Don't try to do everything all at once, right? You have to prioritize what's the most important thing, right? So, starting with the most important thing and then working towards the things that are important to that you value, right? The things that are, part of your value system. And so I think, I like I said, I am so super impressed with your talents and your gifts, and that reminded me when you said beatboxing that you had told me you were going to do a little beatboxing for us. So would you be able to give us a little sample of your beatboxing, please?
Yeah, this gonna be the world premiere of my beatboxing. I never did this live before, so this is a
Okay.
treat for all the fans out there.
Oh, this is exclusive. Exclusive. All
Yeah, this
right.
is gonna be the first time I ever did this.
I feel special. All right, everyone, here we go. Deon on beatbox. Wait, on voice. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. So I feel like I should have been the whole time you were doing that. I felt like I should have been spitting something. I need to be spitting
Okay.
maybe something. I feel like I should have been like, yo, I'm not actually a rapper though,
Okay.
so I
Yeah.
probably would.
Yeah. Yeah.
But next time I'm gonna have to have a rapper on, and have you guys do a freestyle. But yeah, no, that was awesome. That was so cool. So that's just something you just picked up when you were a kid.
Well, when I was in high school, that's when I started beatboxing these kids. It was boring at the lunch table when I was a famous. These freshmen and everything, because I was a junior, they wanted me to beatbox and everything. They was like, man, you used to beatbox. So, it just went off from there and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
I was beatboxing at the lunch table. That's where it all started.
And I could definitely see that. So you guys, so it was it like one of those things from like a movie where you guys are like You beating on the tables.
Where I was, they wasn't. They wasn't at all.
Oh,
I
okay.
was though.
That's pretty cool. You could have a one man band. You could do the beats. You could
I know
just
how to sing. I know how to sing too.
yeah. Well, you know what? We'll have to save that for next time.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I would love to. Let's see. I'm gonna share. Let's see here. We got so everybody, um, Deon Davis on YouTube. That's your name, right? Deon Davis on
Yeah.
YouTube. And so basically, I want to just kind of hear from you to sort of help us kind of close this out in sort of what are some of the biggest advice that you could give um, people that are your age that are trying to get out of the trap? You know what I mean when I'm talking about the trap, right? Like the
Yeah.
trap of life, right? People that are having the things that you're going through. What is some of the advice that you would pass along to them to help them? What are some of the things that they need to do in order to succeed, in your opinion?
Well, I would say you gotta keep. I would say you gotta stay. You gotta get your mindset right and everything. Like whatever you're going through, get help. Try to get your mind clear and everything. Because if your brain ain't right, then you not right and everything. You gotta pay attention to detail and focus and get you a get positive people around you and get the good support system and get rid of the negative people and the toxic people and everything and bring good people in your life and serve God and do what you got to do and everything to better yourself and talk to people. Don't be shy at all, and that's how you can get connected to people. Because one thing I have learned over time is, as this is saying, a closed mouth don't get fed. If you don't say anything, then you ain't gonna get nothing done. Life is all about connection and relationships. You gotta communicate with people. Unless you ain't gonna get anywhere in life. You gotta to talk to people. You gotta communicate, and you will get to high places. Because I have met so many famous people doing my show. You just gotta be persistent and continue to try to find guests. Continue to try to hone in on your skills and continue to try to ask around. Don't give up and don't ever give up. Stay determined and dream big.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Dion. That was wonderful advice, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think it's important that that no matter where you are in your journey, that you stay focused, that you stay, give yourself a support system. Make sure that when you don't know something, ask, learn, right? Be open to learning. Be open to trying new things, and like you said, make connections. I think that relationships are important, right? It's important to have a good relationship with yourself, have your mind right, like you said, and it's also important to have a relationship with other people, but you got to get that relationship with yourself good, right? Which is what I feel like getting your mind right is about. It's like getting your mind, your body, your spirit right? So that when you come to the table and you are working with another person, you are not put off by what they're dealing with, right? Whatever they bring into the situation, because you can handle your own stuff. So you don't have to deal with their stuff, right? You only have to deal with your own. So if you deal with yourself and your stuff, then you come into a situation and you can navigate it much more smoothly because you're not getting caught up in everything. So I wholeheartedly agree. I think that's some amazing advice, great advice. And I just want to thank you, Dion, for taking the time to, you know, be on the show, to share some of your wisdom with people, to share some of your experiences. Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable with us, with our audience, and letting us, telling us what you've gone through and what you've learned from it. And I know that it's going to be helpful for people. There's going to be people out there that will definitely connect with what you've shared today, and hopefully it will be inspiring to them. So, I would just, again, everyone, I would like people, if you would like to definitely check out Dion's channel, the Deon Davis channel, and his show, Positivity is the Way to Go. I'm going to actually put a link to his website um, in a second here before we head out, I will put, and then I'll also put a link once this video goes, not, I don't want to say live because it is live. Once it's up on my channel, both the Magifest and the Mira Raven channel, I will, in the description, I will also put this link. So even if you don't get the link right now, in the comments, well, you're going to, but even if you are not able to get the link or click on it, there will also be another link in the description. So I'll just put that link. Let's see. 1 second, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to put it in the chat for people. And this is Deon's channel. Again, like I said, I'll put it in the description. So, Deon, like I said, thank you so much for coming out. Or not coming out. I'm so used to saying that. Thanks so much for coming out to my virtual lounge, essentially. But yeah,
The
thank you for
VIP section.
the VI. Exactly.
Yeah, we the
VIP.
VIPs. We gonna be
Oh
the
yeah.
first ones in the club.
Oh yeah. So
Like, get out the
thank
way, bouncers.
so thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for taking the time to do this and the energy to do this. And I will look forward to, seeing your episodes and seeing where they go and see where in positivity is the way to go, seeing where it goes, which I think is going to go to wonderful places. So keep up the good work, Deon. Keep doing what you're doing. As you said, do not give up. Keep going, keep growing, and keep manifesting. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll see you next time. It was Mira Raven. We had Deon Davis. All right, guys, I'm out.